On Wednesday, Google released the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, which came with Android 14. Following the keynote, all eligible Pixel devices received the Android 14 update. And now I've installed it here on my Pixel 4a 5G, and I'll be walking you guys through what is new with Android 14. Most times I usually say don't update your phone as soon as the update comes out, which is still, I'll still advise it, but I have to update it because content, man, I need content. What's up guys, my name is Melvin, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed the video and it teaches you a thing or two, then hit that like button please. Thank you, it means the world to me. So first of all, Android 14 is basically Android 13. In fact, it's kind of a shame that they will call this a new software update when it's basically the same. But same thing with Android 13. Android 13 was more like Android 12. So now I feel like at this point, Google are just settling in. It's kind of like iOS. They're already settling in. They already know what they want and what they're going to be doing. So they're just settling in and just tweaking and tweaking and tweaking stuff. But right off the bat, the most important and the most noticeable change in Google's UI is the lock screen customization. I know they're kind of late to the party compared to Samsung and Apple, who've had this for a while, but now they have lock screen customization on the Pixel phones. You can choose about 8 different lock screen fonts. You can change the color, you can change the size, you can change how bright you want it to be. You can just basically do anything. And of course, with Material U, it adapts to your wallpaper, and it looks quite nice in my opinion. But I've set it to this like round font, and I kind of like that font a lot. And I like the way it looks when there are notifications and when there are no notifications. It just looks very, very nice. They did it quite nicely, and yeah. At this point, I can only use the 8 that come with the device. There's no option for any third party like the way you have on Samsung. And there's also going to be, I think, a new watch face added in December in the Pixel drop. Still on the subject of lock screen, they added new device controls to the lock screen, kind of like what you get on Samsung and on Apple, on iPhone. It's just basically them just cutting open some of the little things that they meant to have added a long time ago. So now you can choose between whether you want your touch, whether you want do not disturb, you want the camera, your home app, or even your Google Wallet app just down there, so you can easily access it on the lock screen. For me personally, I feel like the little things I want to add on my lock screen are either touch or camera, to be honest. Maybe do not disturb too, but the fact that do not disturb is already on the notification shade, I don't really need to have it down there. And for the camera, I can just double tap my power button anytime I need the camera, so I don't really need to have it down there. So I just put only the touch on the left side, and it works fine for me. You can change whatever you want to do. Again, unlike Samsung, they've not opened it to third-party apps where you can put literally any app you want there. Google guys are locking in their customization small, like a little bit, like trying to be like Apple so much. But I think they should just be Android and let Android be Android, because we want to see Android be Android. Still on the subject of lock screen, there is a new lock screen unlocking animation. For example, when you have like a pin, you can now add up to 6, like iPhone, and then when you're inputting the pin, basically shows some weird, very quirky shapes. I quite like the shapes and they look quite nice. And the animation is kind of different when it opens. So yeah, they just changed that. That's a little UI change. So exactly, they're just changing and tweaking some little things. They're not really making any new UI updates like the way they did on the Android 12 update. Then I feel like when I opened Android 14, the first thing I noticed was that there was a new back gesture. Yeah. First of all, they changed the back gesture. Instead of just being lines, they added a Material U like circle around it, so you can see, and the animations are looking very, very nice whenever I use the back gesture. The bubble changes shape and everything. It looks very well thought out from them. They also included the new predictive back gesture, which was hidden in Android 13, but I feel like it works better now with Android 14, because like you can see the predictive back gesture. You can see the page you're going back to before you go back to it, so you can know whether you're going back to the home screen or going back to a different app or whatever. And now it shows like a kind of shadow of the next app you're going to now. So it looks better in my opinion. But so many apps don't support it, so many third-party apps, and it's not that hard. All you have to do is put a simple code in your app. I know many small developers that actually have it in their apps already, but some all these apps like WhatsApp and Twitter and Instagram, they have strong head, man. They should just do something, man. Why did they hate on Android so much? They never follow programs that Google are trying to set up on Android. They just do their own thing, man. Google have released a deadline that every single app should support this back gesture by Android 15, but that's so far away, man. They should do it now. Like, I need to see this now. Okay, more on the customization front, we now have AI generated wallpapers, which is cool. And it's trying to put wallpaper creators like me out of business, because like some of us create wallpapers for a living, and they're creating AI-based wallpapers, which you can basically use to make any wallpaper you can possibly imagine. So whatever texture, whatever color, whatever object, whatever thing you want, whether it's even abstract, so you can just create some of the best AI generated wallpapers. It's very handy. And you just Google the name of their software magic. You also have cinematic wallpapers in which you take like a portrait picture that has depth effects, and then it makes like a 3D kind of wallpaper which you can move around and see around kind of. So you can do it with any of your favorite portrait photos, and it looks quite nice. But personally, I don't really like putting people on my wallpaper unless maybe like my favorite, unless maybe it's like Chelsea or something. But apart from that, I don't really think I'll use real human beings on my wallpaper. Also, for notification and calls, people like me who want our phones to ring loudly when it's for calls, but we still want it to be silent or not be too loud when it's notifications, there's a new slider for notification sound. So you can reduce the notification sound and you can increase the phone ringtone. So it's very, very useful. So just a minor change. Like this is, like I said, just minor changes. Basically, just minor changes. We also have flash notifications now, which is again already on Apple and already on Samsung. They're just bringing it now. They're just putting in those minor things in. So it's just the same tune, the same repetitions. There's also a new material hue palette which has more contrasty colors. I actually like that a lot because I feel like the pastel colors are always too bright. So now it's more contrasty, so they are kind of darker now and sharper too. So that's fine by me. I like that. Android 14 for Pixel devices also comes with a new revamped UI for the camera app, and it looks way better. They've divided them into camera and video. So all the camera modes are together and all the video modes are together. Settings is also no longer a swipe down but a swipe up to get. So I feel like I like the way they arrange it now. It's easier to know where things are. The last thing on this list of the things that I actually like, everything else, there's some other minor changes, but they're not really noteworthy to me. Because I told you again, this is just basically Android 13 with some minor tweaks. You also have a new music player animation. So when you press play and when you pause or when you press next, there's this animation on the player that just looks nicer, but again, it's just so little, man. This is really not different from what we had last year. Okay, so that's basically Android 14 in a nutshell. And I already posted some videos on my Instagram on Reels about the new AI generated wallpaper. You guys follow my Instagram. I just post a lot of videos about smartphones and also give you updates about the tech world and also helping you guys with some tech tips and whatnot. So just follow my Instagram. I'll leave it in the description. And also, I already released a video on the new Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, as well as the Galaxy S23 FE. They should probably pop up somewhere around here. So without further ado, Melvin out.